In my life, I have not struggled this much with productivity and consistency as I do now, and that's kind of what motivated me to create this video. I'm going to talk today about what I researched for building a routine, how I created my routine, why it works for me and might work for you, and then I'm going to be talking a little bit about what I've learned so far doing my routine. So I decided to start my research off with researching the top 20 popular routines of successful people. And I did this because I want to be successful, and I'm sure a majority of us watching want to be successful. So I researched and started there. What I found is a lot of the majority of these routines have a lot in common. About 10 things are kind of in common in each. But something that I found is that they're too complicated, too specific, too unrealistic, and too stressful. For me, having a routine that is least stress-provoking and as simple as possible is at the top of my priority list. So none of these routines kind of jumped out to me as something that would work. So I furthered my research with kind of a little bit of research behind why simple routines are better. Now, simple routines do cause us less stress since there's not as much we have to kind of keep up with and keep on checking our phones. What do we have to do next? Kind of thing. But something else to kind of keep in the back of your head, and I want to make another video about this, is that our brains, put our nervous system into fight or flight when we are opened to a new thing. So this new thing could be beneficial to us or unbeneficial to us. But either way, our brain sees this new thing as a threat, and it's going to activate our fight or flight. It's basically going to do as much as possible to kind of neutralize that threat and get us away from it, even if it is a good thing. So keeping that in mind, having a simple routine is going to help our brains adjust to it a lot easier than a super complicated, much bigger monster routine. So how did I create my routine? Well, I did a couple of things, but the first thing that I did was I created a list of things that are most important to me that in a perfect world I would get done every single day. Then I took all of those things and categorized them into categories, and kind of just a couple of examples is exercise, activity, business building, self-care, self-awareness, creative work, etc. And now that I had those categories of those bigger things that I wanted to achieve every day, even though I'm not ever going to be able to achieve all of those in one day, the next thing that I did was create time blocks. And I'm not talking about the super specific, teeny tiny time blocks that these other routines that I researched were doing. I created pretty big time blocks. And the reason that I did this is to simplify it. What I did is then I typed in my little description of this time block of the categories that I wanted to do in that time block. So for example, in the morning, I have, on the days that I work, I have just get my morning momentum done, which is a very, very short morning routine that I created for myself. And then I would eat, do affirmations, or read if I had any extra time before heading to work. And I work from 5:45 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it's an early day, so I don't have that much time in the morning to do anything since I wake up at 4:30. Also, a key thing that I created in this routine was creating a sub-routine, which is my morning momentum, and it is just comprised of kind of the basics. I get up, I go take a cold shower, unless it's a hair washing day, and then I go and do our red light therapy for 10 minutes. And while I'm doing that 10-minute red light therapy, I'm meditating, and then I put on some tallow moisturizer. Just the very bare minimum basic what I'm doing in the morning that I need to be doing every single morning. So that's kind of how my routine works, is these big blocks, and I'm just doing the things that I've categorized them into. Something that I also did with this routine was create a couple of rules for myself for this routine. Was number one is no phone until 1 hour after waking up. 2, no phone 2 hours before bedtime. 3, phone limit is 30 minutes scrolling tops or like pointless phone use. And 4, exercise and stretch daily. 5, meal prep, lunch and breakfast. 6, cold showers only unless hair washing days. And 7, consistent small actions over big effort inconsistent action. Let me say that again. Consistent small action over big effort inconsistent action. Now, why this routine might work for you and why it works for me. Simplicity is the key kind of component in my life, and I'm trying to make it more a part of my life through my routines, through the things that I'm doing every day. And the reason is genetically, I am more susceptible to oxidative stress, which is stress damaging my body. And it's just a genetic component that I have. And I have to be very aware of how sensitive I am to stress. And this routine kind of helps me to be able to limit the stress that comes into my day. Just to know in general, is stress is a killer. And I know you've heard that probably a million times, but in my experience, it definitely is now something that I constantly have to just be aware of and make sure I'm not overworking myself and overstressing myself out. So this routine is kind of just to help you with that, because when we have a tight schedule and we're always busy, that definitely raises our stress. Another key thing this routine helps out with for me and might help you is that it's mental health awareness. So when I had a super busy, tight schedule for myself, I had a to-do list that was this long, I wouldn't get everything done, but I'd get a lot done. But the things that I didn't get done were kind of my focus, and I beat myself up for not getting everything done in the day that I said that I was going to. And it kind of ruined my relationship with myself and my trust with myself, where I couldn't get anything done that I said I would. So how can I make this decision in my life that's super important and have it not fail because I can't get my daily routine done? Things like that. It helps us not fixate on the things that we in quote didn't get done. Now this routine also leaves time for spontaneity, and it's super important to be spontaneous in your life because that also kind of lowers your stress. Now smart spontaneousness, spontaneity, not like just doing whatever and not really having a plan around it, but be spontaneous sometimes. It's also going to help you feel less drained. And the reason is when we don't have a routine, it will cause us to get decision fatigue. When you make a whole bunch of decisions throughout the day, especially when you're stressed, underlyingly stressed, it's going to make your life a lot harder. Even with super busy schedules, you're going to face decision fatigue. Now you could also enhance this in the routine by doing meal prep, putting your clothes out before you go to sleep, or packing your bag before you go to bed. That'll also help. What I've learned being on this routine for a couple of days so far is 1, I have a tendency to sleep in on my off days, and I need to take account for that. 2, I like to clean and do self-care more on the days that I don't work, so I also need to account for that. On my off days, I tend to want to take it slower and be a lot more mindful of how fast my day is going. During the days that I work, if I don't do my morning momentum, I end up not really wanting to do my other things during the day, during the rest of the day, so like my deep work. Some days I need to take it slower than other days. I learned that I also need to write down the things I want to focus on the next day. Helps me stay a little bit more intentional with what I'm doing. Now, something that you guys should also kind of just take to mind is that forming a routine is gonna take you roughly 66 days to be consistent with it. After 66 days is kind of like the green mark of when we build a habit, and this could be different for everyone, kind of ranging from, I believe it's like something like 60 days to like 100 days, I think it's something like that, but 66 days is kind of the golden number for most people. So give yourself time to adjust, and remember, our brains think anything that is new coming into our lives that we're doing is a threat, and it's going to do anything it can to keep you from that threat. So just take in mind from that. Take a note. Hello everyone, it is Abigail, and I welcome you to the end of the video. I am standing today, so I could have moved around but I didn't. But yeah, today was all about productivity. I don't know what next week's video is going to be about, but I do want to talk about the kind of the brain neurological part of like the fight or flight. So I found that pretty interesting, and it's a short video to explain, so I think I might be posting something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned something, comment down below. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. I feel like that's like so like 2010 YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video.